If I only had 2 hours to prepare some healthy snacks for the freezer, this is what I would make.
I've dedicated a lot of time to testing out snack recipes that I can make at home so that you don't have to. Now I'm ready to share what I've learned via the snack series on my channel. This week, I'm refilling the freezer with 4 homemade, ultra-processed free snacks and some refined sugar-free jam for the fridge, which the kids absolutely love. I've also found some really good, nutritious ingredients that are easy to include in these recipes and likely are things that you've already got in your cupboard, so watch out for those. So let's get started. First up, I've got some overripe bananas that need using up, and I've got 3 really good recipes to make the most of them. First up, I'm making cornflake, cacao and chia bars. I had one of my little ones at home for this recipe and she really wanted to get involved. I love getting the kids involved in cooking as I think it's a really good way to get them to try new things and they love being part of the process. She gets going by smashing up cornflakes and mashing up a banana ready to mix in the bowl. We are trying to use our local food waste recycling service a bit more this year in an effort to save money and reduce food waste, and they always have tons of overripe bananas which are great for baking. Once you've got your bananas mashed up and the cornflakes, we stir that into oats, honey, and then we add in some raw cacao powder. I love using this cacao powder. It's such a great ingredient for boosting the nutrients in the kids' recipes, and we also make great hot chocolates with it. It is quite a bitter taste, however, so you do need to add a little bit of extra sweetness, like I've done here with the honey, or you could use maple syrup. Then we add in our chia seeds, which is another ingredient I absolutely love. Studies have shown lately that children don't get enough fibre in their diets, and chia seeds are a great way to pack in fibre into recipes like this where you don't even notice that they're there. These will now go into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes until they look set on the top. And now we'll move on to the next recipe.
So we're 15 minutes in and our first bake is now in the oven. I love batch cooking as it's a great feeling knowing we've got a real variety of foods in our freezer stash, but that have healthy and nutritious ingredients. And in this video, you'll notice that there are some crossover ingredients. So bananas are a great one, especially when they're getting overripe. I love using raisins and sultanas as a natural sweetener in our baking. And I'm always using ingredients like chia seeds as they're super nutritious and have lots of fibre in them. And lastly, I love this cacao powder. It's a great way to add a chocolatey flavour whilst being a pretty nutritious ingredient to include. So if you can use crossover ingredients when you're batch cooking, this is a much more efficient way of doing it.
So the next thing I'm making are these sheep pancake bars. These can double up either as a snack or as an easy breakfast. They're such a great thing to have in, as I don't know about you, but in the morning I don't have the time to make fresh pancakes, and I hold my hands up to anybody that can do that on a school morning. This avoids us just taking the easy option and giving them the same breakfast every day, and the kids feel like they're getting a bit of a treat, which is a win all around. We start off by mashing bananas, and they provide a good amount of sweetness for this recipe, so you don't need as much sugar from maple syrup or honey. Then I add in extra ingredients to our taste. In this case, I've gone for the chocolate option with cacao. I also soaked some raisins to add in there, and I top with some fresh blueberries that were about to go on the turn in the fridge. This will now bake for 20 to 30 minutes until cooked through, and then I'll slice it up and store in the freezer. You want to double check that the batter is cooked through if you've poured it into quite a deep tin like I've done here. Then when you're ready to eat, you could either serve defrosted as snack bars, or if you're having them for breakfast, you could put the frozen bars into the air fryer and blitz up for 5 to 10 minutes until they're ready to be eaten. Now, whilst the oven is in use, I'm going to get on to whipping up a batch of chia jam, which our kids absolutely love. We've really tried to cut down on ultra-processed foods this past year, and this was such an easy swap to make, and it's got way less sugar in it. We enjoy this on top of toast, mixed into yogurt pots, sometimes in baking, or on top of our porridge in the morning. And it couldn't be easier to make. You simply take 2 ingredients, frozen raspberries and chia seeds. You heat the raspberries in the microwave, mash them up, stir in the chia seeds, and leave in the fridge overnight to set. I absolutely love using frozen ingredients like frozen fruit to save on cost, but also to save on waste, and this is such a great recipe to use it. Next up, I've got some frozen blueberries in the freezer, and I'm going to be making some crumble bars with them. I simply blitz up a simple shortbread base that I then press firmly down into my tins, and I top with the blueberries straight from the freezer, and then sprinkle a little bit more shortbread on the top. These will bake for 30 to 40 minutes until they're golden and will be ready to be sliced up for lunch boxes.
We're nearly coming up to 1 hour on the clock, and I just love batch cooking because it's so helpful to have this stash of healthy snacks in the freezer ready for lunch boxes. In the morning, I can just pull out a bag, take a few muffins out, put them in the lunch box, and I know the kids are getting really healthy snacks. And then for us, we've got some treats in here. It's just so nice to have them to hand and know that they're all homemade.
And the cornflake bars have come out of the oven and they're nicely cool, so I'm ready to slice them up. I'm so pleased with how they've come out. They're really chewy on the inside and they're nice and crunchy on the top. These ones are extra chocolatey because a lot of chocolate chips got added, which will be an absolute bonus for our kids. They will keep for 2 to 3 days in an airtight container, or you could pop them in the freezer. Now, the last thing to make is a firm favourite in our house, which is these chocolate muffins. I used a recipe from Charlotte Sterling Reed, who is a nutritionist that we absolutely love. She has some great ideas how to make kids' foods more nutritious. I'm using a muffin tin here, as you get way more out of the recipe by making smaller portions, and it makes it a little bit more lunchbox friendly. This also makes such a difference because I only have to make 1 or 2 batches a month, and I've got enough to last me for all of the lunch boxes that I'm going to make. Mashed bananas come together with milk, oil and the dry ingredients, along with some raisins and chocolate chips if you fancy. If I wasn't using it for a school lunchbox, I might even add some nut butter here, but for obvious reasons, you can't send kids into school with nuts. This is also a really good recipe to do with your kids, as it doesn't actually involve any raw egg. And we did that for a play date recently, and they all loved getting involved with making this one. The crumble bars are now out of the oven and cooling, and these muffins will go in for about 15 to 20 minutes until they look cooked on the top. When I'm slicing the crumble bars, I try not to do too big a portion, as they do have a little bit of sugar in the shortbread base, and these freeze perfectly in the freezer. When you're ready to eat them, you can either pop them in the lunchbox to defrost across the morning, or sometimes we like to put ours in the air fryer and enjoy them slightly warmed up.
Thanks so much for watching along. In just under 2 hours, we've got some lovely snacks in the freezer ready for lunch boxes. The full ingredient list and recipes are available for free via the link below. Enjoy!